Welcome to Generation Truth Podcast with Carey and Rebekah Charles,
where we declare the Lord is good, His mercy is everlasting, and His truth endureth to all generations.
Gluttony. Oh, man. Are you consumed with gluttony? This is kind of a funny, or we make it funny. We make light of the word gluttony. We make light of the sin of gluttony, and yet it is still that. It is just that. It is a sin. 1 Corinthians 6:12 says, "All things are lawful unto me, but all things are not expedient. All things are lawful for me, but I will not be brought under the power of any." Have you been brought under the power of food? Or maybe it's something else.
Yes, I have to be honest, whenever I think of the word gluttony, I don't think of myself or, although I know I am guilty of this at times, I think of this very large person who can't fit into any clothes and they're just kind of bebopping around. But that's not really the only definition of gluttony. I have been guilty of this in areas of my life, and yet I'm not 420 pounds, whatever, so if you are one of those individuals like I am, who's like, oh, I'm not guilty of this sin, watch yourself. Yeah. What are you consumed with? This is a very convicting topic.
It is, absolutely. Many times we are so careless with our eating habits. You may not be super heavy, but do you gorge yourself? Do you eat in moderation, or do you just let her loose? Enjoy until you're full, and go all the way. As Christians in general, we like to joke about how much we love to eat fried chicken, watermelon, which I just had some watermelon this morning. It was very good. But dessert, we say things like, hey, give me the dessert first so I don't miss out on the best part of the meal if Jesus comes in the middle of the meal. I've actually said that before. We joke around about that. I don't want to miss out on the dessert just in case Jesus comes back, when really we're just joking around, but physically we are saying something else, and we are, gorging ourselves with things that we really don't need to be. And I'm not saying that you can't have your dessert before your main entree, but what I am saying, and what the Bible is really saying, is this, that you're really not going to miss out on anything if Jesus comes back in the middle of your meal. And Jesus is so much better than food.
Here's a convicting thought. Do you enjoy your food more than you enjoy Jesus? Man, that I would say at times in my life, yes, I do enjoy my food more than I enjoy my time with Jesus. And that is simply not biblical, and it's not appropriate. And Jesus died for me. That food didn't. It sounds weird to say it that way, right? But really, if we're being honest with ourselves, we enjoy eating food more than we enjoy being with Jesus, then we need to rethink this food thing. Yeah.
And eating is not a sin, okay? Matter of fact, I love donuts. I love cake. I love brownies. I had a brownie today. We love food. You need food to sustain. But are you eating in moderation? Or are you, like we said earlier, going above and beyond and just feeding yourself, even though you don't really need to eat at that point? We say things like, this piece of pie is going to go to waste. You better eat it. Otherwise, it's going to go to waste. And you're like, oh, I'm really full. I don't know if I could do that. But I don't really want it to go to waste. So, you know what? I think I'm full in my stomach, but I have a little bit more room in my neck, okay? And we're just joking around, but then we go and eat it, and we're treating our bodies as though, it's our body, when really it's not. How are you doing in this area? Are you consumed with gluttony, or are you consumed with Jesus?
Right, and there is scripture to evidence this. In Proverbs chapter 23, it says, "Hear thou, my son, and be wise, and guide thine heart in the way. Be not among winebibbers, among riotous eaters of flesh. For the drunkard and the glutton shall come to poverty, and drowsiness shall clothe a man with rags." Yeah. That's verse 19 through 21 of chapter 23 of Proverbs.
Proverbs 23, 1-3 says, "When thou sittest to eat with a ruler, consider diligently what is before thee, and put a knife to thy throat if thou be a man given to appetite." Basically, it's better to kill yourself if you're going to just gorge yourself to death, because that's what you're going to do. You're going to bring yourself to the end. Be not desirous of his dainties, for they are deceitful meat. Philippians 3:18-19 says, "For many walk, of whom I have told you often, and now tell you even weeping, that they are the enemies of the cross of Christ, whose end is destruction, and get this, whose God is their belly, and whose glory is in their shame, who mind earthly things. I'm not saying if you struggle with the sin of gluttony, you should go out and kill yourself, because you should not do that at all. But what I am saying, and what the Bible is saying here, is you need to have some self-control in your life. And that is only going to come by the Spirit of God. Are you struggling with the sin of gluttony? Who is your God? Or maybe what is your God? I will tell you that Rebekah and I, we've been on a little bit of a journey in this past year. I actually started doing something with a friend of mine last October on a little diet and implementing things like, okay, drinking only water instead of no soda, that kind of stuff. Then no sweets. Then we did something in January, which Rebekah didn't really like because cooking got a little crazy, but we said,
don't realize how much bread you eat until you have to entirely cut it out. So I fixed that problem by milling my own flour, which is actually really helpful. So we could have bread within our diet.
Which, by the way, milling our own flour has been amazing. It's been great. But yes, I cut out bread, or most breads, in January, and really did a cleanse this past year and tried to lose some weight, trying to take care of the body that God's given to me. And I noticed this summer, I started implementing some stuff that I used to have, the junk food and stuff back, and I just have a little bit more than normal, and my body would react to it totally differently than what it used to. So I get sick, and it was really bad. And I noticed that my body started to realize what is actually good food and what is actually bad food. And it rejected the bad. Are you spending time with Jesus so much? You're spending time with the good so much that your spiritual walk wants to reject the bad. You want to have self-control in your life. I have just realized in the past year how much my life has been consumed with food, and I'm not 400 pounds, but I have given my life over to food and to soda and to sweets, when really I don't need those as much as I really think I do. Where are you at with this? Gluttony is not just about being consumed with food also, but gluttony is anything or anyone that you have given the throne of your heart.
So you can be full of anything else but Jesus, then you're guilty of, again, putting something else above Jesus, which is actually breaking one of the commandments. We're to put Jesus first, right? We're to have no other gods before us. Well, if food, if my music, if my job, if what you put in place of God, then we are guilty of this sin.
Absolutely.
So are you consumed with the one who died for you? I think that is a key aspect here to overcoming this sin, is if we focus on what God has done for us, then we're going to realize that we could never, ever repay him. And wow, it's going to help us so much in this aspect.
Absolutely. So what are you consumed with, or who are you consumed with? Are you consumed with the one who is truth? If you really want to have victory in this area, then let's get to know the truth, the one who is truth, so we can live the truth. That means be righteous in this area, have self-control, and ultimately so we can point others to the truth, so we can give the truth.
Because God's truth endureth to all generations.